Davy. Awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. So this past week was TNA Turning Point 2025 from Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. Let's get into it. The opening match for the Knockouts Championship. M by Elegance challenging Kalani Jordan. It was okay, but nothing really dramatic. Felt mostly like a going through the motions type match. At no point did it really seem like Kalani Jordan was any real danger of losing her championship. And it just went until Kalani Jordan got the one-of-a-kind onto M by Elegance, got the pin, the win. She's still the TNA Knockouts champion. And they're still groaning about it because they want their titles back. Either way, it was just an okay match. 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, making his singles match debut, wrestler and YouTuber BDE challenging AJ Francis. I mean, it was good. Francis welcomed BDE with a apron powerbomb, but I'll give BDE this. He had a good showing until 2 down payments from AJ Francis got AJ Francis the pin and the win. And again, whereas I would say this was a good match, it wasn't wonderful. But a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, no disqualification, Dani Luna versus Indi Hartwell. Like the previous two, it was good, but in this case, it was a no-holds-barred match, so it should have been better. I mean, there were some cool things like Luna choking out Indi Hartwell with a kendo stick, but even then, for a no-DQ match, it really was nothing special. And it just went until Indi Hartwell got the Hertz Donut onto a folded-out chair onto Dani Luna, got the pin and the win. And another match I would only give a 3 out of 5. Then, a triple threat tag team match for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard challenged the Angel Warriors, challenging the champions, The Inspiration. But apparently, with Tessa Blanchard, she's still not cleared to compete, so they had to get a replacement of Mila Moore. But here's the thing, this match, kind of like the previous matches of the night, it was good, it was worth watching, but it wasn't great. Just kind of, again, mostly felt like they were just going through the motions until The Inspiration picked up the win, retaining their Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Yet another one I would only give a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then a 6-man tag match. Order 4 versus the Hardys and Cedric Alexander. This one's gonna get a different ranking. This one was lackluster and sloppy. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it was a mess. Several botches throughout it. Like, there was like 1 or 2 cool things, like, you know, a double twist of fate involving Tasha Steelz. But then after that, Agent Zero gets on the apron. Hardys chase him off with a couple of chairs. But then a very sloppy roll-up on Cedric Alexander from Ali gets Order 4 the win. This match was awful. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Yeah. And then an 8-man tag. The System versus the Rascals and a mystery opponent. That mystery opponent turned out to be a returning Desmond Xavier. As Wesley is no longer in NXT, he is now back to being Desmond Xavier with the Rascals. And for the first time, all 4 Rascals are in a company together. So that was really cool, but then the match itself, it was really awesome. There was a cool story being told with the returning Desmond Xavier. It gave it a feel-good story, plus a really good match. That ended with Desmond Xavier picking up the win for his team, the Rascals. This one was actually match of the night, with a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then for the X Division Championship, Rich Swann challenging champion Leon Slater. It was good, but it's what we kind of come to expect from most X Division matches, in that it wasn't really much to it, it was just a spot fest. That's really it. Until Leon Slater picked up the win, retaining his X Division Championship. And then, because I guess he was such a good opponent, Rich Swann, even though he's a heel, decided to give him respect. So, cool, I guess. Another 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then the main event, Steve Maclin and Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian. When the match was originally signed, Mike Santana was the champion, but apparently the night before Turning Point, NXT had stormed the ring, beat up Mike Santana, and one of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winners, Frankie Kazarian, cashed in his Call Your Shot Gauntlet and became the new TNA champion. Finally. But because of all this, Mike Santana We did not know where he was at all. So Steve Macklin was facing Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian alone. But it was predictable. We pretty much knew what was going to happen. Midway through the match, Mike Santana returns. We see him come all the way into the arena, in through the crowd, and he goes in and he saves the day and wins the match by picking up a win over Frankie Kazarian. So cool, even though it didn't really mean anything. And just when it looked like it was about to mean something, as the other Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, Nick Nemeth, was going to cash in his Call Your Shot Gauntlet onto Frankie Kazarian, but out came the same guys from the night before from NXT, just beating the crap out of everybody in there, including Frankie Kazarian, whom people were suspecting was a part of it. Then some TNA guys came out and they got beat up, including the director of Authority, Santino Marella, and it just ended with a chaotic beatdown. That was the end of the show. As far as the match itself, like most matches that night, it was good, not great. 3 out of 5. Yeah! So TNA Turning Point 2025 overall was very lackluster. Most of the matches, they were good, but they weren't great. One of them was terrible. Only one was really good, but not amazing. There was not a single 5. There was only one 4, there was a 2, and then everything else out of 8 matches, so 6 of them, were 3s. And then ultimately, with the exception of Desmond Xavier coming back, nothing that really happened really mattered. Like, yes, in the main event where the champion was on but not defending his title, the NXT guys came out, but that had happened the night before, so it wasn't a big, huge deal. It already happened, and we get there's some kind of invading NXT thing going on. Probably setting up for their version of War Games or something. But still, almost nothing that happened this night really mattered. This was a filler. And I've said it before about TNA events when they're filler. WWE can get away with that. TNA cannot. I get TNA and WWE have got that working relationship. Things are going good for TNA. And I love that TNA is getting built up. But they are not big enough to get away with giving us entire events that are just filler. And even when WWE does that, I'm not happy about that. I don't want to sit there watching something that's supposed to be bigger than your weekly shows that really wasn't. That, in this case, that's kind of what it ended up feeling like. Like, I just watched an extra long TNA Impact because there was no point to any of it. No titles exchanged hands. No titles even seemed like they were in danger of changing hands. There was nothing really stellar that made me not have to look away. There was nothing even important to building up any of these stories. Except, again, Desmond Xavier coming back. And ultimately, they could have done that on Impact and it would have been just the same. So ultimately, I hate to say this because whereas I like that TNA is being built up and getting somewhere, I was not at all happy with this event. It felt like a waste of time. And I would give the entire event a 2 out of 5. So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post the videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. If you disagree with me about Turning Point 2025, let me hear it. Love you guys.